Hey everybody, welcome once again to another Low on Health Rambling. Today is July 15th of 2012, and I want to say once again, I haven't been doing a lot of these. I've been doing a lot of extra kind of things. Of course, doing a lot of gaming, which is what I always do. But I've actually kind of been also been going outside a little bit more than average, just been kind of reevaluating stuff and whatnot. And as you can hear from my voice, because I had a couple drinks last night, my voice is of course kind of shot, so it's a lot deeper. But it was good times all around. I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of them. The first one I'm going to talk about is going to be Bishop's 40th birthday, the little kind of get-together we had. Bishop is a friend I met at Xbox Live. He's an awesome guy. He turned 40. And actually, his wife did a big shindig down at Treasure Island. Rented a couple cabanas out and invited everybody out there. And it was kind of neat to all catch up with everybody. And this is one shot of me. Of course, I wore the Uruhara hat and my Game Over t-shirt. And kind of just chilling on a beach, which isn't kind of normally my running crew's kind of crowd. We're not really a beach crowd, as is, a bunch of gaming dorks and whatnot. But it was kind of really good to kind of hang out with everybody. I did, of course, the whole pick up Darren because we're the Basconians and we have to have a super long drive out to get anywhere. But that was kind of cool. That's, of course, this is Jeff, Doug, and Matt. Let's get a picture here. This is, of course, that's Bishop right there and his wife, Dana. That's Bryce. And, of course, that's me actually with my feet in the sand, actually at the actual beach and just enjoying myself. That's me kind of sobering up with my Dr. Pepper. I, of course, had a couple pina coladas and whatnot. But, it was a good times. I really enjoyed it. And what was really interesting, basically, like Doug and Matt, hanging out with these guys, you kind of, because they are kind of older than me, it's kind of interesting to see what, my life could be or how certain choices could relate to in 5 or 10 years. Granted, we're different people, but we're kind of all the same kind of personality or kind of demographic, if you will. So it was kind of just interesting to talk with them and maybe kind of plan ahead better with like going out and doing things and being more social, which is something I've been trying to do. But it was like really cool to catch up with everybody, and it was interesting to note too that the gang that I play with, like we all met each other over Xbox Live. We've actually hung out with each other more physically than we have online, like getting together and playing all the same game. I mean, we'll jump in each other's chat channels and stuff, but we haven't actually played the same game in a very long time. And with Darren's thing, and just Jeff's thing, and a couple other birthday parties here and there, and just outings, even Oktoberfest, like we've seen each other more outside in the real world than we have actually virtually, which is really interesting when you think about it. During just searching the net and whatnot, I was introduced to a webcomic series called Homestuck, which of course many of you probably will not know of because I didn't even know about it. But somebody I met online kind of referenced it to me and said, it's a great series, check it out. And it is one of those series that's like over 5,000 pages, and it's super long. And it's just crazy. It's just like I mentioned it, the plot itself is like a big rubber band ball of plot arcs that bend and turn on each other. But it is really good, and it is kind of hard to get into. But here's kind of like the first page right here, and this is kind of how it plays out. You read text, and then you kind of click stuff, and then you read text. It's very just a straightforward. And calling it a webcomic almost kind of puts it to a disservice to a point. But it is just really good, and I really recommend it to people. But the problem is, like, I spent a whole week, like, I stopped kind of gaming because I got into a bad gaming rut. I stopped gaming and basically just did that, and essentially spent hours just reading this whole series. And the cool thing is it starts out really basic like this. Like, it takes a while to get into, but then eventually you get really cool badass stuff like this. I'm going to play this real quick in the background. Hopefully it won't be too loud. But essentially this has a huge cast of characters that they get introduced, and the whole like just mythos in a world that has like time traveling and backtracking. It does kind of take a while to get used to, and I will say a couple times I did have to check the Wikipedia to kind of catch up onto it. But what impressed me is that if you look at the Metrocon pictures and other kind of con pictures, this series has a really strong fan following, like almost like My Little Pony, maybe even more bigger fan following. It's really interesting to see just the fan dedication to this series, and it's just really good. This is kind of like every now and then there's these flash animation bookends, which are just phenomenal once you get to realize who these characters are and how badass they are. This is, of course, kind of spoiling it for some people, but most of the people I know, even they start reading it, they're not going to get this far until, like, 6 to 8 months. But it's a great series. I really recommend it to people if you like webcomic series. And it's not like a webcomic like a daily thing where it's a lot of, like, topical stuff. It's very much an overarching, huge story. Really, it is kind of an epic story when you look at it. But I don't want to ramble on too much about it, but it's just a really good series. And thank you to the person who kind of introduced me to it. It's been really cool. Let that play a little bit some more. It's almost done. Dirk is the man. Also, what I did recently is I went to a anime convention. I went to the Orlando Anime Day, which is basically there's anime days, which are essentially one-off cons, which I'd never heard of. So they're basically just like a dealer room and one viewing room, and they'll have the game room within the dealer room, and it's just kind of cool if they get everybody out there and just kind of hang out. And I love cons, and the cool thing about this con is its main price right there. Yeah, $3. These are very low cost cons, and that is awesome. So this yesterday, I actually went out and went to this convention. It was kind of cool to see all the cosplayers and see kind of the dealer's room and kind of see what anime merchandise has evolved to. I did kind of spend maybe too much time playing Bomberman on the PlayStation 1. That was kind of fun. Just kind of, they had the 5 controllers set up there, and I just found myself kind of gravitating towards it more and playing against people and losing a bunch, but having fun. But I really enjoyed it. It was kind of different and interesting. And the cool thing about it is, too, they have a bunch of anime days. There's actually one in Tampa here coming up, Anime Day in Tampa, August 11th. Once again, it's $3. I really recommend this to all my Tampa crowd people. It's nice, just one-off convention. You don't have to spend the whole day there. You know, you can if you want, but I mean, really, just go there, check out the dealer's room, see what kind of merch is around. Maybe you'll find something you want, see the cosplayers, take some pictures, and just kind of have a good, fun time at being around like-minded individuals, which is very rare for a lot of us out there. But that was that, and of course after that I kind of hung out with a new group of people which I haven't met before, and I got to meet there. And it was kind of cool to relate with them. We went out to Chili's for dinner, kind of cool, kind of group gathering. Of course, gauged my time, and I'm like, you know what, I can probably do some pina coladas. So of course I had 2 pina coladas, which I enjoy. And then we actually walked down to the arcade, which I cannot remember, but it was like a mile away. We just walked down International Drive, went to the arcade, did some arcade games. Of course, I had to do DDR, and that was always fun, of course, wearing my normal get-up and having drinks and whatnot. Not that great on my body, but still fun nonetheless. And it was just a good overall night of actually going out and doing things, which I want to do more. You know, it's just really hard for me to be kind of inspired, I guess, encouraged to go out. Not that many reasons for me to go out personally. It's hard to kind of justify, you know, how I look at things like that. But it was a good time, and I really enjoyed myself. And like I said, I'll probably be doing the Tampa Anime Day in August, which would be very cool. And maybe I'll meet up some people there too. So, as always, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.